In this video, I will explain why I love Magic the Gathering so much, and if so should you. I won't go into too much detail on how you actually play Magic the Gathering, because holy shit, that'd be like its own whole video. I will explain my favorite formats and why I like them so much. Two formats I'm going to talk about are Standard and Commander. And let's begin with Standard, because I generally have like less to talk about. For those of you who don't know, Standard is a 60 card format. In Standard, you could typically use 4 of each individual card, and you could only play with the cards that are in the current rotation. So for Magic the Gathering, that's usually between the last 2 to 3 years of cards that have been released. At the time of recording this video, it begins here and ends here. Currently, the most recent Standard set is Wilds of the Eldraine, which actually came out with some pretty good cards. It brought a lot of much needed new interesting decks to the Standard format. The way the Magic's supposed to work is in a rock, paper, scissors kind of way, where it's aggro, mid-range, and control. And it's supposed to be that aggro beats control, mid-range beats aggro, and control beats mid-range. You guys following me? It's not confusing, is it? No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. And for the most part, Magic does work that way. On occasion, a control deck will win against an aggro deck, and vice versa. It's just like, it's a card game, so it's random. It doesn't really matter. However, I play best of 1 Standard, so I just kind of get farmed by mono red. I want to thank CGB for showing me how amazing Standard can be. So from one blue mage to another, thank you, sir. Please notice me, CGB. I love you. I watch all your videos. Oh, they're awesome. So Standard's a lot of fun, even with mono red. And one of the best parts is you could just download Magic the Gathering Arena on your phone and play it wherever. It's pretty awesome because you get like the whole Magic experience pretty much anywhere you go. Now, to my favorite part of Magic. Commander. Commander is such a different format from Standard. To help me explain how different it is, we're gonna change scenery. The biggest difference between the two formats is that Commander is a multiplayer format. So you gotta meet up with at least yourself and 3 of your bros, and you know, sit at a big old table together like this. And with Standard, you begin with 20 life, doubles for Commander to, you know, compensate for the whole, like, you know, playing with 3 other people thing. Standard, we explained that you could have 4 of each individual card in your deck, but not in Commander. Commander is a singleton format, so you can only have 1 of each card in your deck, and they have to match the colors of your Commander. So what does that mean? Well, if you look at our little friend Coma here, he's blue and green. So the cards in your deck have to be either blue or green, or both like him. And that brings me to my absolute favorite part of Commander, and that is picking a commander. In my experience, there's 2 different ways that you can build a commander deck, and that is either very powerful or silly. There's no in between. There's 2 different ways that you can pick a commander. So option number 1 is you go to a very popular website like EDH Rec, and you look at the top commanders of the last month or year, and you pick one of those from, you know, top 10 or so. Or you can look through all the other commanders and choose one that speaks to you. Despite its power level, you pick the one that you feel you can resonate to the most. That's how I like to choose my decks. But these choices is what makes Commander amazing. You could bring a commander that's maybe a little bit weaker than most, but soup it up with all the best cards in its color identity and just sweep everybody on the board. Or you can bring a very powerful commander and add your own little theme to it, your own little twist to it. It'll lower down the power level, but you know, your commander cares about like cats or something. Again, you get to choose how powerful or silly your deck is going to be. And that creative freedom is, in my opinion, one of the things that makes Magic so fucking magical. Let me show you my absolute favorite decks I own. Mishra, claimed by Gix, and Urza, Lord Protector. Now these guys are really cool because they're actually brothers. Crap, I forgot to mention that Magic does have a story, and every set they release, they expand on that story. The story of Urza and Mishra is like one of the oldest Magic stories available. There's books about it. It's like 20 years old. You can go back and read it. I don't know if they're good or not. But last year, Wizards of the Coast did like a flashback kind of set, and we went back to Brothers War with these two guys. It's really cool because we got to go back and get new cards of characters that have been out for like 20 years. Anyway, as you can see, both these guys have different color identities to show how different they really are, and the way they are being asked to be built is completely different from one another. For example, Mishra likes to go wide. He likes to have creatures on board that can attack every single turn if possible to do the most damage to your opponents. Where Urza doesn't really require a lot of creatures. Matter of fact, the way I built him is with a lot of ways to remove creatures from the board. He is my degenerate blue deck and I love him. The really awesome part is when you face them against each other. It really becomes a coin toss on who's gonna win. Mishra can get enough creatures on board before Urza can find an answer, and Mishra will just stomp him with combat damage. But if Urza finds a well-timed counterspell or board wipe, he'll eventually have such card advantage over Mishra that he's never gonna come back. Look, and when they go to combat, they just bounce off each other. They can't destroy each other. It's quite beautiful actually. One of the coolest parts of these commanders is that they meld with another card in the deck. Mishra fuses with a dragon engine, making him into an absolute unit that can really change the tide of combat in your favor. And Urza transforms into a planeswalker, which can help protect himself or destroy your opponent's entire board state. I got them in deck boxes that match their color identities, and the tokens in the deck are also them. These guys make me love Magic. I mean, they're amazing decks, and they're so much fun to play, and I really feel like I customize them in a way. They make me happy. They make me happy to own these. I love them. They're like my favorite boys. They're my good boys here. One deck obviously gets a lot less salt. You know, with my play group, people don't really like playing with Urza, but they can get fucked. I can really talk about these commanders all day. They're my prized Magic possessions, I guess. And as you can tell, I'm very passionate about it. But as I mentioned earlier, should you also be passionate about it? And that is a tough question, because the reality is Wizards of the Coast releases a lot of product. I mean, a lot of product. Every 3 months there's a standard release, and in between there's a bunch of other crap coming out. They have yearly master sets coming out, they have secret layers coming out every month, and they have stuff coming out at random times. For example, Doctor Who Commander decks are releasing in a few weeks here, but we just got Wilds of Eldraine, and we are going to get another standard set in a few weeks from now. Of product coming out it's overwhelming. It's almost daunting. Even for a die-hard fan like me, I cannot keep up with it. Every day there seems to be new cards coming out, and you feel like you want to read them, or you have to read them because they might fit in perfectly with your commander and with your deck. So you might want to pick it up or proxy it. I do encourage proxying your cards, especially if you want to test them before you buy them. But my point is that there's just way too much product coming out. It's really hard to even keep track of what cards come out and what sets, right? Some people are okay with you proxying the cards, but they want you to wait until the set comes out. I don't even know when the set comes out. Is this card even coming out this year? Has it released? I don't fucking know. I'm losing track. And having to print out cards and review my decks every 2 weeks is fucking ridiculous. It's way too goddamn much. You have to know when going in that it seems like Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast are trying to destroy it. Their greed is palpable. You can feel it with the amount of products that they're dropping. it's getting even a diehard fan like me to consider stop playing, because I just don't want to support their greed. Thank you for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. If you've gotten this far, just know that I really appreciate it. We've gotten up to 100 subscribers in the past like 2 weeks of posting, and that means a lot to me. Obviously I'm still trying to improve, trying to get like my setup finalized and everything, but with life and you know, family, job, all that, trying to make time for the YouTube stuff can be really hard sometimes. My light just died. But yeah, we're working on it, and I really appreciate you guys. Please leave comments on how I can improve or what you guys would like to see in the future. And I hope you guys stick along with the ride. I plan to be doing this for a very long time. I appreciate you guys. Bye. Oh no, that was so good. I fucked it up. I fucked it up. No.